What's up guys, this is Astranox, showcase of Closer Charles in RTA. In this video I have 13 battles in RTA. This is a new season. We only have 3 players in Champion worldwide. The rest are in Challenger and below, so don't worry too much about my ranking. You know, I climb up throughout the video in those 13 battles. But let me talk about Closer Charles. A lot of stuff is happening here. A lot of stuff is happening behind the scene. Like, it's not all about damage. There's a lot of stuff happening behind, like why my team just keeps on going back to back and the enemy cannot get a turn. And Closer Charles is enabling a new type of cleaving in Epic 7, and it has to do with combat shootedness. Combat shootedness can go way above 100%, and when you are beating the enemy, if they have a mechanic that pushes their combat shootedness, let's say, you know, like all the annoying heroes that are anti-cleave heroes, like Elena, Tempest Siren, Arbiter Vildred, General Purgus, like all those things allowing the enemy to cut between your cleavers, to cut between your damage, messing your whole cleave and making you lose, right? With Closer Charles, you can definitely change the game up, and it's a beautiful thing, but you need a team behind him. He will not do everything by himself. You need a team to do different things. You need an opener to bring an enemy's health below 30% health, or kill that hero. It will trigger Closer Charles skill number 2, which will in turn boost his combat shootedness by 50%. And then even with low speed, high offensive stats, or even high survivability, or a mix of both, he's gonna be able to follow up. If your opener is like 300 speed, Closer Charles doesn't need much speed at all. He could be, you know, 200 speed and you're gonna be just fine. Now, there are reasons why you want Closer Charles to have even more speed, considering that he even gets the 50% CR push, right? Like, there is an overflow of combat shootedness. You can go way above 100%. So if you have more speed on Closer Charles, you're going to be able to cut between annoying anti-cleave mechanics that the enemy is able to do, and you're going to be able to go back to back. Now, Closer Charles, he goes, right? Like, it's almost a guarantee that he goes after your opener. Like, I'm using Assassin Sid with 128 base speed. Like, you could be running Assassin Coley with 126, Kayron with 129, Pavel with 124 base speed, Karrik with 119 base speed. Like, you use a hero that can put your best speed gear to good use. You just want to have that nice base speed, so you guarantee to have Closer Charles follow up. Now, Closer Charles, he goes, right? And then the skill number 3 boosts the combat shootedness of your whole team. You have 20% more CR because of his skill number 3. Now, I'm running him on Sword of Summer Twilight, the Thief Artifact of Vildred, and if he finishes off the target, so let's say you soften someone up with, let's say my example, Assassin Sid brings a target below 30% health, don't kill the target. Closer Charles comes in there, maybe I have souls, I can soul burn his skill 3. He downs the target, right? So I'm getting 20% combat shootedness from his skill 3. I'm getting 10% combat shootedness from Sword of Summer Twilight. And then I'm also getting 16% combat shootedness from Sash Itain on a Ranger. Like, all that stuff, like that is 46% combat shootedness that you are getting, and you can go way above 100% combat shootedness. And that means that even if the rest of your team has slower heroes, like, you can just have all those heroes follow back to back, and you will outspeed even heroes like Elena on a Megahara's Tome. Well, it would facilitate things if you have a Politis on your team, let's say, but like, if you have the gear, you're able to just go back to back, and the enemy cannot do anything about it. Like, that's the great thing about Closer Charles. You're putting all that nice speed on a hero that is worthy of having that nice speed gear with offense, and then Closer Charles follows up, and then he does his thing, and he gives attack buff to your team. He pushes their combat shootedness like quite heavily if you manage to land a kill, finish someone off with him, especially with Sword of you know, Summer Twilight. And then you just keep on going back to back, and you already took out a target, and then you took a second one out, and then a third one, and then you clean up. And Closer Charles is great for cleaning up, right? Because when he uses skill number 1, and it's upgraded because he has the perception buff, which gives him 15% crit chance and 15% crit damage. He's able to actually deal more damage, and more damage the lower the health of the target, like the amount of health that they have, the lower it is, the more damage he will deal. And then it lowers the cooldown of the skill number 3, so you can get that cycle going faster. And Closer Charles allows you to get so many more turns over the enemy. Like, you can see it happening, like in this one, right? Like, you can see that I don't have Politis, right? But the timing was great because Cerise is able to remove the invulnerability barrier on the enemy team. Actually, I took it off of 2. But yeah, like, it is so cool what you're able to do. I had so much fun filming these RTA battles, guys. Like, so many times I was like, man, this hero is so good. That's what I've been missing in my roster. Now, let's talk about Operator Sigrid, because I'm getting comments like, Operator Sigrid is better, man. Operator Sigrid, she's better. I don't need Closer Charles. Yeah, I mean, like, not everyone can pull for every Moonlight hero. Like, that's the... I get it. I get it. I'm a free-to-play player. I have 4 accounts to be able to actually get every hero that comes out. It is rough out there. But if you stick with your playstyle and you pull for the heroes that are useful to your playstyle, then you're going to be able to get the majority of them. But you can't go and get everything. You're not going to go and get speed cleave heroes, control heroes, and then bruiser heroes. Like, you gotta calm down, man. Like, you can't get everything, especially as free to play. But if you save your resources, you're smart about it, man. You save your gold, use sky stones, do secret shop refreshes. Yes, it's boring, but then you get your mystic medals, and then you can pity. Yeah, hopefully you don't have to pity, but then you can pity natural 5-star Moonlight hero. Now, Closer Charles needs a very solid team, guys. Like, you can't just pull him on a brand new account and things will just happen. No. Like, I'm running double openers with high base speed, Assassin Sid, Pavel. I'm running double mages, like Spectre Tenebria, you know, Politis, things like that. And then I have Closer Charles. So even if they ban one Tagil's Ancient Book, I have another one. If they're banning one opener, I have another one. So, yes, like, that's all the things you have to worry about and more. Because, like, maybe the enemy team is running some super tanky heroes, then you gotta worry about that. If you don't bring the damage, you don't have the offensive stats on your heroes, then you can't pull it off with that too. Now, there's some battles where Closer Charles, you know, it was a slower team and I didn't actually get him to trigger the skill number 2 early on because they were too tanky. But later on, I was able to do it, and that pushes his combationist, and I was able to do big burst damage on Ruel of Light, and I was able to secure the kill on her. And that was massive right there because I have high offense on my Closer Charles. I don't have all speed and no offense. I have super high offense on him. So he's bringing so much to the team. Plus he's doing damage on top of it all. Like, he's not a selfish hero. He helps tremendously. So if I had more memory and Prince, like, there is so much to improve in my team, but I'm definitely putting all that speed gear to good use that I've been farming for almost 3 years, right? Like, I'm getting comment like, oh yeah, you got whale gear, blah blah blah. Like, I've been farming for 3 years as a free-to-play player, right? I've been grinding Wyvern basically for 3 years, and you've been playing maybe for like 5 days and you're like, whale gear? Like, you gotta grasp how the game actually works. And it's hard to get to this point. There's a lot of grinding involved, but I'm just showing you guys how to pull it off, right? Maybe you check at your roster and you're like, well, I got this high base speed hero. You know, you got your Carrick, let's say, you do have a Pavel. Now you got a Tagil's Ancient Book on Carrick. You got Pavel that can soul burn skill 2 into skill 3. He's got an exclusive equipment Pavel that he will give attack buff to the hero with the highest attack beside himself when he uses skill number 2. Actually, there was a battle where Closer Charles was the highest attacker beside Pavel. And then I got attack buff on him, so he actually followed up with the skill 3 with attack buff on himself, and that was huge right there. Like, you can do things like that, and it's really cool what you are able to do. And it's just so much damage that you're able to throw at the enemy, and you're getting so many turns, like, and I like stealing turns from the enemy because you're getting so much combationness overflow over 100%, even if they're using anti-cleave heroes And it's definitely a game changer. It's definitely a new type of cleaving because you don't have to worry about so many anti-cleave heroes that are currently in the meta, and they're so annoying. And since Closer Charles is able to do damage on top of the rest of your team, you know, you got more chances to deal with these annoying evasion-based heroes and things like that. Like, pay attention, in this battle, right? That's the battle where I took out Well of Light. Sorry if I haven't been like commenting about the battle. I just like, I got a lot of stuff, train of thought, I gotta like get it going, right? But that's the battle, you can go back. I took out Ruel when Closer Charles jumped because I brought her under 30% and he came in there and I was able to finish her off. And that was huge right there because if Ruel brought back, you know, one of their hero or healed a hero up, like that would have been really problematic, man. So in this battle, right, like I knew it was a really tanky team. You know, they have Double Knight, Crimson Armin. Like that's a thick team with ML Ken with like 23,000 health on that ML Ken. I brought Briar Witch Hysteria. I brought, you know, different heroes in there. I brought my boy Blaze Dingo because he provides sustain. He's got big bursts. He's got the, you know, the invulnerability shield that he can apply on an ally, And then when I attack ML Ken, I don't take any damage. And I can continuously like sustain the team because of Blaze Dingo. Like such a good hero. Blaze Dingo is really good. You can go check out my showcase. I got showcases for all these heroes. Look at this battle right here. I got Benevolent Roman. Like, I'm cleaving with Benevolent Roman because some teams, you don't need to bring like full offense. You gotta bring different tools to counter their playstyle. So I have like decent, pretty high speed on him, but I have super high effectiveness and I'm able to land silence. It's not 100% chance, I lucked out, but still, like, Benevolent Roman is a really good hero, and he has attack percentage memory imprint for the back and top position, so that was perfect, and I was able to get more damage because of that. And Broman is able to push back CR. You know, he dispels with skill number 3, removes buffs, you know, a chance to apply silence. Skill 1, if there's silence, you know, he's got a high chance to trigger the second attack, and then it pushes back the combativeness of the enemy. What is like between 10 and 50% CR pushback, and you're just able to get so many more turns. And if you're pushing back their CR and you're pushing up your CR, then there's a massive difference between, and you're just able to lap the enemy constantly, and they just can't get a turn and they can't do anything about it. Look at how easy I deal with Arbiter Vildreds throughout these RTA battles. Assassin Sid really good because like he pushes back the CR of RB by 50%. So RB resumes to where he was before, but since I push back his CR, then he's down. The more speed you have on your Assassin Sid, the more behind you will throw this Arbiter Vildred, and then he comes back. But then Closer Charles is at the overflow of CR. He's above 100% CR, and you can push that even further, you know, by having like Sash Itane and Sword of Summer Twilight, and you know, like that's really cool. And Assassin Sid, when you kill someone, he's getting CR push. Like Green Vildred, he's getting CR push when you kill someone. There's so many different team compositions that you can pull off with Closer Charles, but it does require really good gear, really high offense, really high speed. But at least you're putting that speed gear on a worthy hero, right? Like you're not putting that on Operator Sigrid with 115 base speed that requires so many stats and is heavily dependent on you fighting F.O.O.L and Cecilia, which is not something you want to actually do in RTA. F.O.O.L and Cecilia just brings way too much, you know, effective health to the enemy with that tick barrier, the maxed out Aureus, the constant barriers, the skill nullifier with skill. Like you want a banner, right? That's the thing. And Closer Charles, the beautiful thing as well is that you can bring him in other playstyles. Like you don't have to be a speed cleaver. You could even have him, I mean, it will make sense. It will work. You can make him tankier. He even has evasion buff for 3 turns, 50% evasion buff, and it's definitely boosting his survivability because he attacks everyone with skill 3, and then if they counter attack, well, there's a good chance he survives, he evades, especially if you have like an artifact that boosts his evasion even further. I'm running, you know, Sword of Summer Twilight, so it's only 50% evasion. But if you have Moonlight Dreamblade, the Charon artifact, or you know, Violet's artifact, like you can boost his evasion, boost his health, boost his defense. But he's a thief, so his defense, his base defense is not that high. But I mean, so is you know, Remnant Violet, like they have crappy defense. That's the way it is. But Evasion is so powerful because you're only taking 70% of a normal damage hit. They cannot land a critical hit. They cannot land debuffs on you unless they're like dizzy, or unless they use a non-attack skill to land debuffs. But yeah, I mean, like, so many different possibilities. But once again, you need the heroes in the team to back him up. Like, he won't do everything by himself. If you build him with super high speed, then you lose. Like, that's what is it, beyond the point? What's the expression? Like, that is not the point of this hero. You don't want to throw your best speed because he doesn't have good base speed. What is it, 115 base speed that he has? There's better heroes. So make him slower with a bit of speed. More speed means you can have a higher overflow of CR and cut between annoying anti-cleave mechanics, Elena, Megaharis, Tome, Tempest, and stuff like that, right? So it's really cool. Now for artifacts on him, there's definitely multiple artifacts that you can go for. Definitely like Sword of Summer Twilight. That's a cool one, but you need to land a kill with him, and it only works on his skill 3. You will not get a boost in damage with skill 1. So you can have Portrait of the Saviors, right? You can deal more damage because of that. If you soften up the enemy team, the whole enemy team, you started with the, I don't know, a series and AoE damage dealer like a Pavel, then Eliha's Knife is definitely going to help because you're going to penetrate up to 20% of every enemy's defense. You know, 20% is not that much, but it definitely helps, man. The more defense they have, the more effective it will be, and they will try to stall it, guys. I mean, the meta is super cancerous with a bunch of super stally heroes. I mean, they're stacking it up with Evasion heroes, building the bow, the survivability on them, running Tempest Siren with like barrier, lifesteal, all kind of garbage to mess up your cleave. And Closer Charles is a tool that you can have that will just open so many doors and so many different team compositions, and you will be able to put your, you know, your gear to better use because of him. And the enemy might not expect it. Like, there might be like, well, it's Closer Charles, right? Like, he's not gonna open up. Now they have to worry about your opener. I'm running Assassin Sid, Pavel, like, they're worrying about that, but I'm running a backup just in case one gets banned. Maybe you made the mistake, or you couldn't really do otherwise, but you were able to just pick one mage, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna ban his Tagil's Ancient Book wearer. But then you have Assassin Sid, and he's still able to drop a hero under 30%. So when it comes to RTA, I just ban Fallen Cecilia, but then I show what I actually ban off of the enemy. And there's definitely some really annoying, some really cancerous heroes, like Rem was just introduced from the ReZero collaboration. That's definitely a very dangerous hero, right? The more hero that attacks everyone on your team, right? Like if you have like a hero that attacks the enemy, the whole team, then it boosts the chance of Rem or an Elbrus Knight chance to just counterattack you. But if you're running heroes like I'm running here, Spectre Tenebria, I'm running, you know, Pavel, like these heroes cannot trigger a counterattack, and that's really cool. I mean, you could have a Landy in there, like you can have different heroes that cannot trigger a counterattack. Now it's really dangerous when I pick a Spectre Tenebria versus a team that is running like, you know, a Green Violet, Remnant Violet, like they're running evasion-based heroes and as well as single target damage dealers. Like, they have to get to the Spectre Tenebria, and it's a ticking bomb because the frenzy builds up. I'm taking their heroes one by one. They can't reach her. So, like, you need a lot of heroes. Like, you need some really solid heroes and really solid gear to make Closer Charles work. Like, you saw how many heroes I've been bringing so far. By the way, guys, my stats, my gear for Closer Charles are at the end, as well as the stats of the other hero that I brought along with him. But you will see, like, that gear is good. Some of my heroes have godly gear on, but I'm a free-to-play player, and if you're someone that spends money, if you well, because cleaving, trust me, cleaving is for people that well, or people that have been playing the game since it was released, and you farmed a crap ton of Wyvern. Like, you farmed it, like, so much of your energy went to Wyvern compared to any other place in the game, right? Because like, it just requires so many different things, because you need the offense stats, and then you need the high speed, And then you, like, if you build an opener like Assassin Sid, Pavel, like, yes, they have that great base speed, so you don't need the craziest of speed gear, because the speed set, the high base speed, it will already like boost it a lot, especially if you decide to bring a speed imprint and stuff like that. But it's hard, man, because you need to worry about the offensive stats and you need to worry about the speed. So it's definitely a rough one. So that's why it's better to work on actually good base speed heroes and put your gear on them, compared to having like a mediocre or low base speed. Like, you don't want that. So you can see I have him on speed crit, and he's super high offense. Like, look at this. I changed my boots since the last video and the artifact, right? The boots were on Arbiter Vildred, and I haven't been running Arbiter Vildred in these team compositions, and that's the Sword of Summer Twilight. Let us know what you guys think about all that in the comments section. And even Light Angelica, you're gonna be able to, like, if you drop her health, you can finish her off with, you know, Closer Charles. That's the thing. And he's dark, she's light. Assassin Sid is dark, she's light. And if she builds effect resistance, she's gonna be softer and easier to deal with. So yeah, man, let us know what you guys think about all that in the comment section. I've had a blast doing all this, and I want to do more. I want to test him in Guild War and do more RTA. It is so fun, man. Arena doesn't showcase how powerful he really is at the end of the day, man. If you enjoyed the video, if you learned something, please smash the like button. It really helps me a ton. Thanks, guys. That's gonna be it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm Astranox. Good luck with all ya do. Peace out for now.